So if we're worried about the cost of housing asylum seekers simply because the Home Office is on a go slow, and that cost is apparently 1.3 billion a year, we're now told that the cost this year is likely to have reached 3 billion a year. I don't know where they got that figure from. That's quoted today in the BBC. But the illegal migration bill, if it becomes law and is set to be law, then anybody who has arrived in the UK from the 7th of March 2023 will be retrospectively judged under that law. It's extraordinary. And they will then be housed in detention centres. Those detention centres are going to cost between 3 billion and 6 billion. That's a modest assessment. I'm sure it will go up. And then they will need to be, that will need to be processed on a yearly, monthly basis. So that will be another 3 billion, I suppose. This cost is astronomical. Why? Simply to fulfill some sort of ideological fiat and to make Suella Braverman's dreams come true. This is to say nothing about the cost that we are going to be incurring by paying off Rwanda. The legal costs we're almost certainly likely to incur because the Rwanda plan will not only be challenged within this country by people who are genuine refugees and who are caught in this mess, but also will be challenged by international law, which I think will recognize that this is wholly wrong. We will be pilloried and we will be held in contempt of international law. I am absolutely certain of that. Whether all this expense gets underway before the next election, God knows. I think it's highly unlikely. I think it's highly unlikely that anything will happen before the next election, and I'm sure that is the present government's hope. And then they can blame Keir Starmer for any mess that occurs. Because Keir Starmer, of course, is unlikely to change very much of this. He's very much a policeman, and he might enjoy the authority of the Rwanda scheme, at least modified. I hope it will be modified quite a lot. The only way to deal with asylum, because we've already got the problem in America, we can already see exactly how that works in America. Nobody wants to police the border in America. They get out of that job as fast as they can because it does nothing, because people are held by red tape. And the smugglers are in gleeful delight at the thought of sending people across the border at the age of 12 and getting them pregnant. They send them across with a box of condoms and then take the box away. And it is stubbornly bad. And we are copying America. The only way out of this problem is to summon an international conference to redefine what a refugee is, what migration involves, and to ensure that it's a definition that will work into the 21st century. Because at the moment, the definition we've got is something that was devised in the aftermath of World War II. That no longer works. And if we're not prepared to face up to that reality, then we're going to be ostriches. I was going to say sausages with our heads in the sand. But we are. Ostriches or sausages, it doesn't really matter. We are figures of fun. And the only reason that we didn't notice this problem before is because we were saved from seeing it. We didn't want to see it because we were relying on Europe to do the dirty work. We were relying on the southern countries like Greece, Italy, and Spain to take the brunt. And we didn't pay attention then. They were screaming for help, and we didn't pay attention. And now it's at our shores. Why are we surprised that nobody's paying attention to us? Because we treated other countries with contempt. And we quit Europe without considering the consequences. The only solution we have is an international conference, because everything else is a sticking plaster on a gaping wound.